There are some things that we can never know. Being a white guy who's an atheist in middle America, I'm completely out of the loop when it comes to the Muslim community in America. I can't really know what's going on. I can't really know what the mood is in the Muslim community, whether they want to be uh, friendly, and whether they want to be you know just peace-loving Americans. I can't really know that. I can't get inside their heads and know that. Um, but if you stop and think about it, the same is true of everyone. You actually can't know what your next door neighbor's intention is. Um, we like to tell ourselves that we can. We like to come up with um, little rules of thumb to kind of help us figure out, to navigate things. Um, you know, we don't go down dark alleys, and we avoid, suspicious looking characters. No matter who we are, we try to avoid danger. We try to put ourselves, out of the way of obvious trouble. But at the end of the day, we can't really know what somebody else's intentions are until it's too late. But the danger of thinking about things in that way, the danger of looking at the world that way, is that while you think you may be like building a wall of protection around yourself, what you're really doing is you're walling yourself in. Because at some point, by not engaging, by not trying to have a dialogue, you isolate yourself, and before long you have no idea what's going on. Before long you become so isolated and so mistrustful of your neighbors that you can't really have any kind of control over the outcome. What I advocate instead of that tactic is one of openness, and one of extending a hand of friendship. It's possible that currently the Muslim community in America and in Europe is hostile to non-Muslims. It's completely possible. Everything that people have said to me on YouTube and in different conversations could be completely true. I could be completely wrong. My feeling is that no, that there isn't a deeper danger here with the Muslim community. I tend to think not, but I could be wrong. I mean, you can't get inside someone's head. But human beings, no matter who they are, no matter where they're from or what their beliefs are, human beings have a hardwired, instinctive response to certain kinds of behavior. And one of the things that human beings tend to do is they reciprocate. Most of the reaction to the Muslim community is an example of reciprocation. The vast majority of Muslims are not criminals, are not extremists, apparently. If it were otherwise, you would see far more violence than we do. There are 1.5 billion Muslims in the world. We are not experiencing 1.5 billion people trying to do us all in for not being them. So I think it's somewhat safe to say that that's not their intention. But because a number of people who call themselves Muslims have done things that are so spectacular in terms of violence, and it's been so shocking, there is an impulse in human beings to reciprocate, to look for a common element, and to identify Muslims as the problem. But I would suggest to you that this is a two-way street. By reciprocating in this fashion, we encourage them to be less interested in potentially necessary reform, communication, and a willingness to have an open dialogue. On the other hand, there's the other element of reciprocation. This is a very important and strong human emotion, and that is, by extending trust to others, it encourages a human being in a very profound way to reciprocate by trusting. This is the gold standard of con artists, to be very crass. Confidence tricksters use the technique to gain the confidence of other people. What they do is they show trust in their mark. And by showing trust in their mark, they gain the reciprocated trust back. Now that's the dark side of that. But it's a well-known and well-established phenomena that if you are kind to someone, that it is more likely that you're going to receive a positive response. I mean, this is obvious when you stop to think about it, but it's the same thing with trust. By trusting, by allowing yourself to trust, by extending your hand and saying, I'm willing to trust you, you are more likely to get a hand of friendship back in return. I understand why people are fearful. It's perfectly understandable. But if we are going to move forward in a world that is changing, if we're going to have open dialogue and resolve our problems, we have to try to bridge these divides. And I think that you'll find that the divide isn't as far as you might think if you're just willing to be a little bit vulnerable. I'm not asking you to ignore your instincts or to put yourself in danger, but if there's no harm in extending a hand of friendship or extending the opportunity to have a dialogue, even if you can't agree on everything, if we can find a baseline where we can discuss things, human beings, person to person, we will tear down the wall that keeps people out, and we will tear down the wall that keeps us imprisoned. Thank you for your time.